What's up, Gage?
What up? What up?
We got Gage Heward in the house today on the podcast, guys. Gage, welcome.
Dude, thanks for having me.
Oh no, it's my pleasure, dude. Seriously.
I'm honored.
No, I'm the honored one, dude. Okay, let's dive into this. Okay, guys, Gage is in pest control. We knew each other from a big company we used to work for. And yeah, how long has it been, Gage? It's like 2017, 2018.
Yeah, like 7, 8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
It is crazy. Small world.
Small world.
What's your biggest year you've made in commission so far?
$850,000.
Let's go. Yeah,
Not
dude.
bad.
Not too bad.
Almost a mil.
We're getting there.
We will.
I like it, dude.
Yeah.
And that was in pest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you have a team of about 45 guys, you said?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So we're growing. Love it. Guys, Gage, let me give Gage some accolades here. So Gage came in and met me at Aptiv, and I remember him coming into the office, and he didn't even work like with our team, our region. He had no affiliation to me, and he came to me and basically was like, "Hey, you've crushed it. Let me pick your brain. Let me learn from you." And like seeing Gage today, he has not changed. He's even more so that way. The humility's there. He has massive ambition, and watch this kid. He's going places. So,
dude, thanks.
Yeah.
I just remember that first conversation, in headquarters, just asking you like how you got to 700 accounts, because that's what you had done.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember you giving a closing training that was phenomenal, and I just remember you spitting off book after book after book. And I'm like, I've read that, haven't read that.
Nice.
I started just learning from you. So,
love
dude,
that,
thanks.
Gage.
Thanks for helping out even back then.
Oh, heck yeah, dude. I freaking love that, man. That's what we live for. Gage and I, we're starting to plunge a little bit now together. I've got to start going daily with you, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Your
love
next
the
level.
plunge.
Yeah.
Big fan.
So we were at, you just got back from Date with Destiny with Tony Robbins.
Yeah, round two.
He's in Platinum, Tony Robbins Mastermind. And we saw each other at the Tony Robbins UPW event, Unleash the Power Within.
We did.
So pretty sweet.
Partied in New Jersey.
We did, dude. Good old Jersey. So, dude, tell us about Date with Destiny. Like, give a quick summary. Yeah, you said it was like 100 years of therapy in 6 days.
Yeah, that's what my wife said. So, yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I've always told myself that I was committed to personal development, right? And then I had Casey Ball on my podcast, and he talked about how you don't really value something unless you spend real money, time, and energy into it. And otherwise, you say you prioritize it, but you really don't. And so I kind of looked at where I was spending my time, my money, and my energy. And yeah, I spent a lot of time on personal development, like lots of books, lots of podcasts, lots of YouTube videos, spent a ton of energy on it. But when I looked at the dollar amount I was investing in myself, it was less than 10K a year. And I'm like, and Casey talks about how Harvard Business School changed his life, how Tony Robbins events have changed his life. And I had been to a few of them, and they were life-changing. And I'm like, I wonder what would happen if I actually put more money into my personal development. Because really the people that pay the most money pay the most attention.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm gonna go hard in this. And I used to say, I went to my first Tony Robbins event back in 2019. I think it was 19 or 20 years old. And I just remember thinking in that moment, like, I want to go be a Tony Robbins Platinum member, which it's $85K a year. But I was like, I'm going to do it when I make $1 million in a single year. Like, I'll do it when. And last year, me and my buddy, Zach, shout out Zach Anderson, we went to Date with Destiny, and we had both not made $1 million in a year yet. And we're like, we shouldn't wait till we make $1 million. We should go invest so that we make $1 million a year. And so last year, we both committed to doing Date with Destiny. I mean, Tony Robbins Plat. And last year we went to Date with Destiny, and that week of my life was the most transformational week of my entire life. Like, I learned more about myself that week last year in December than I have my entire life. I think I would have died not knowing the things that I had learned about myself. Like,
That's wild.
example. So
And this is Tony, just to preface, this is Tony's favorite event that he
yeah,
does. His number one top event.
yeah, it's one of the most expensive events, and everyone that's been to all of his events say that Day with Destiny is the most impactful. And I think the reason why is because I had gone to Business Mastery, which was incredible. And what he kept saying at Business Mastery is the biggest chokehold of any business is the psychology of the leader
Yeah.
or the owner.
Mm.
And the thing is the biggest chokehold in your life is your psychology. The biggest chokehold in your relationships is your psychology. The biggest chokehold in your finances is your psychology. The biggest chokehold in your health is your psychology. And that was, Tony didn't say I said that, but I got the idea from Tony. And what Day with Destiny is, to put it simply, is Tony talks about how from 0 to 20 years old, you don't get to choose where you're born or to what family or what teachers or what coaches you have growing up. And you're shaped by your external influences from age 0 to 20. And you don't get to choose how you look. You don't get to choose your parents. You don't get to choose anything. And most people, by the time they're 20, have this program, that their software or psychology that was programmed to them, and they have it, and it was never intentionally made. Like, it was just there.
Yeah.
And Tony says most people go through life never updating the software of their own psychology.
Right.
And what Date with Destiny is, to put it simply, is the first 3 days. I mean, man, it's like you get there at 10 a.m. and go till 3 a.m. for 6 days straight. Like, it's intense. Like, my wife didn't know what she was in for. But the first 3 days of Date with Destiny is all about figuring out who the fuck you are.
Yeah.
Sorry, excuse my French. Who the hell you are at the deepest level.
Yeah.
And then setting goals for the future and then deciding the new software that you need to have in order to go execute and achieve your goals. And those first 3 days, man, you go through so many different things, like 16 different things, to really figure out how Gage Heward became Gage Heward. Like, at the deepest levels. For example, one thing that was a big takeaway was one of the 16 things he talks about is something called the primary question. I've talked to you about this.
Yeah, the primary question.
Yeah. He talks about how every single person in life, whether they know it or not, have a question that they ask themselves more than any other question. And he gave this story telling us how he found out his question, which basically how he even thought of a primary question, or how he even realized it was a thing, was he was doing all these seminars, freaking busy, and then he had a friend invite him to a seminar so he could get feedback from Tony, who was like the expert seminar guy on how his seminar was. So Tony showed up late to the seminar on accident, and there was a seat saved for him in the front row. And he felt embarrassed because he was late, but he walked to the front, sat in his chair, and he said he was there for like an hour, and the whole hour just sucked. Like, it was a really bad seminar, not great content, wasn't engaging, didn't use humor, whatever. And he was just taking notes. And at the end of the seminar, all these people came up to him. They're like, "Man, Tony Robbins, what's up? What are you doing here?" And he started chatting with them, and they all kept asking him, like, "We saw you taking notes like a madman. This seminar sucked. What were you taking notes on?"
How
And
could
he's
have been
like, "What was I taking my notes on? Because this seminar did suck, And he looks at his notes, and like a day or two later, he's like, he really wanted to understand. And as he's reading his notes, he realizes it was all answering the same question: how he could make this seminar better. And he was like 26 at the time, and he realized his entire life he had been programmed with this question of, how can I make this better? How can I make you better? How can I make this seminar better? How can I make this book better? And that question ran his life. And so anyway, as Tony was telling that story, I realized my primary question was, what's the best use of my time right now?
That's a powerful one.
It's a powerful question.
Yeah.
I got it from Brian Tracy's book, The Psychology of Selling. Like, it was like my favorite
So good.
sales book, right?
Yeah.
And that question, he tells you top salesmen ask that question all the time because the best salesmen use their time so prioritize their time so well to get the most deals, to close the most people. And it was a great question. It helped me, become a millionaire at 22. Like I was the top performing rep in 2019, like all these things, but it was really hurting me in relationships and as a leader.
I've been there.
Yeah. Because if I'm talking to a friend and he's telling me about some basketball game last night and I'm thinking
goals.
Yeah. And my question's like, what's the best use of my time right now? I'm like, okay, this isn't important. I either need to change the topic or I need to like think about what I'm going to do after, or just leave the conversation.
This was me too.
Dude, it's crazy. And even with my wife, I feel so bad. I was married for 2 years before Date with Destiny. And man, I like, for those of you that are married or have girlfriends, like being present is super important.
Yes.
And like giving them that quality time,
Yeah.
like huge. And my wife would always complain to me that I didn't spend quality time with her. I'm like, what do you mean? We've just been together for 2 hours. She's like, but you weren't present. And I didn't know why I couldn't be present with her. And it was literally because this question was literally not allowing me to be present with the people in my life that I cared about most.
Yeah.
And bro, it brought me to tears when I figured it out. And yeah, dude. And then, so that was my old question. And then he has you change your question.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's the new question?
Dude, the new question last year that I made was, how can I appreciate and enjoy the present moment even more?
Let's go.
But the problem is that question didn't stick this last year.
Okay.
Because it didn't meet the same needs as my old question. It didn't
like achievement.
Yeah, it didn't let me grow. Like
okay.
it didn't stick. Like I tried, and it did help a lot with my wife. Like I'd really, like it did. She was like crying for a week after because I was a changed man. But it didn't allow me to stay there. And so my new question that I updated like last week was, what action best serves my life purpose most right now?
Ooh, wow.
Because before it was all action oriented, where now it's like, okay, right now I'm with my wife. It's 6 o'clock. Work is off. Like what's most important for my life's purpose right now is to be here with her.
Love that.
So it's just so subtle, but dude, it's made a massive difference.
Yeah.
So
that's amazing, Gage.
Yeah, dude. That was one of the big takeaways I got from Date with Destiny. Another one, real quick, is Tony talks about the 6 human needs.
Yeah.
And it's certainty, which is basically, safety. Like you have financial stability to pay your bills, have shelter, food. So everyone needs certainty in their life. Otherwise, if everything was uncertain, they'd go crazy. But you also need uncertainty. Which is like variety. Go on trips. You need to meet new people, do new things. Third is significance. And significance is just everyone needs to feel important. And then fourth is love and connection. Everyone needs to feel loved, love others, and feel connected to other people. Fifth is growth. Right? Learning, leveling up, feel like they're making progress towards their goals. And then the last one's contribution and impact.
Yeah.
And that's just, service and just making a difference in the world. And I realized he goes through this dark meditation for an hour.
Yeah.
And I realized the number one need that had been running my life was significance.
Yeah, me too.
Dude, it's a common thing in 2024, and especially in the door-to-door or achievement people. Money people. And especially in 2024, because Tony says the last 15 years, because of social media, everyone is trying to one up each other. Everyone is trying to make their life look a certain way to like feel more important than someone else. And I just realized the way I felt significance, because there's good ways to get significance and bad. Yeah. But all the ways I was getting significance or seeking it was bad.
It's like external.
Yeah. It was like people had to know what I had done for me to feel
Yeah, I
significant.
remember you telling me that. And I had been the same way, dude. Isn't that crazy?
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, it's bad because like if I met somebody, my number one thing was what's the best use of my time right now. So I'd only want to talk about topics that I knew a lot about or I thought would add to my goals.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing was when I first met somebody, I'd try to spit up or throw up as fast as I could everything that I'd ever done to feel significant.
To win them over. Yeah.
Dude, it was terrible. And it was killing me in life. Like my wife we go on double dates and she's like, I feel like I can't, like you're not safe to bring because you can't even connect with somebody that doesn't do sales. Like you try to shift the conversation to real estate or money and I'm like, that's just who I am, babe. Like,
yeah.
But it was the biggest game changer and the biggest eye opener to now, like my two. And you can change your human needs and you can change the way you feel significant, change the way. And now
There's
like
growth and contribution, right?
and that's what it was. But now at Day with Destiny, like I've tried to make it contribution first and then love and then growth.
Nice.
So
I'm pretty similar. Mine. Yeah. Yeah. I'm debating between, I think love and connection is my number one right now.
heck yeah.
And then growth and contribution.
That's huge.
And you were telling me, Gage, where like, if you make those your priority, you can't go, your life can't, it's like impossible for it to go right.
Yeah.
And he talks about too, like when you have, speaking about significance, like when you're doing it, like you're set out to go accomplish a goal and you're craving external validation from people. Doesn't he say, like if you can give that to yourself and you can be at peace and you have higher things motivating you, you'll accomplish your goal like 100 times faster.
Way faster.
Yeah.
Because think about it. Like nobody wants to be led by somebody that's all about themselves.
Exactly.
Nobody wants to be led by somebody that doesn't care about them more than their goals or growth.
Yeah.
You know? And it's crazy. And it's such a big shift. It's such a small seeming shift, but it just changes your like character and how you show up in the world.
Yeah.
And Tony even says like, it's great that you want to feel significant. Everyone has that need in some way, but the best way to get significance is go contribute and impact at the highest levels.
Go serve.
Because then they'll put you on a pedestal.
Look at
because you changed their life.
Look at that.
And you impacted them for the better.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's
and
the best
it
thing
forces
ever.
you in the abundance mindset too.
Yeah, it does.
It forces you to think bigger. And he says the secret to living is giving. And then, you know, he talked about that billionaire he interviewed, like, hey, what's the secret to building wealth? And he said gratitude and giving. It's fascinating. That was just like wild.
Well, dude, you think about the biggest companies in the world.
Look at the impact.
Like they are impacting and serving the most people at the highest level, like Jeff Bezos with Amazon.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, he's built a company where me and you can pull up our phone right now and buy any book, any product in the world
anytime,
and get it delivered tomorrow at
crazy,
our doorstep. Dude. So like the best companies in the world are really just serving the most.
You're correct.
And like as leaders, like if you can really just serve your people the best, give them the best opportunity, pay them not just in physical pay, but pay them spiritually, pay them mentally, pay them emotionally, socially.
Gage. Yes.
They will stay forever.
Yeah.
Because even if somebody else walks in and offers a higher commission, they're not going to leave.
They're not
because
leaving. Yeah.
They're like, okay, you're paying me more here, but look, this company's paying me way more here, and here. It's crazy. And I feel like, yeah, just looking at like the best leaders that I look up to, they all lead like contribution and love and growth lead their life. You know, Todd Peterson, I've never worked for the guy.
Vivint, yeah.
But I've never heard one bad thing about him. All I've heard is he's the most amazing person in the office and outside of the office, with his family, without his family. And it's just like, no wonder he became a billionaire from door-to-door sales.
Yeah.
He did it the best that's ever been done because he was the best.
Yeah.
Like you think about the phrase like be, do, have.
Mm-hmm.
Like so many people think about having. I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this.
Yeah.
But nobody really focuses on the being and the doing.
Correct.
You have to go become a type of person that is disciplined, that does a bunch of small things consistently, and they do the doing. And then that type of person attracts all the things they could ever want in their life.
Mm-hmm.
But so many people are just like, oh, I want this. And then they'll read a book for one day and then not do it again because they're not a disciplined person.
Yeah.
And then they wonder why the
They
other
don't have-
person's driving the Lambo and they're not.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Spot on, dude. One of our core values is attract, don't chase. And it's the principle that the whole point of that is become what you become, like whatever you want, become it to attract it. Right. And that is financially, like, hey, I want to build a team. Go be the guy that will attract those people. Go get the results. A partner, become even if you're married, right? Like become the person that you want.
That's a huge one. I have so many guys right now, a lot of single guys, right?
Yeah.
A lot of 20-year-olds that come in and are like, my big goal this year is I want to get married.
Yeah, they're going to rush. They can't. Yeah, no.
And then they tell me all the things they're doing with girls on the weekends and girls that aren't even the type of girls they'd want to marry. And I'm like, you're not the person that a good girl would want to be with.
Dude, this is a hot take for me right now.
Yeah.
Your boy's in the single world right now.
Yeah.
And for me being lonely, like I'm being vulnerable right here. Okay. Loneliness is the hardest thing for me, Gage. And like from private conversation, you probably gauge that too with me. And I have realized it is a superpower. It's not that I'm going to stay alone, right? But like these last 6 months where I've been single, been alone, and I have had so much growth because I haven't been actively pursuing and I've been chasing my own growth.
Yeah.
Rather than like trying to fill my weekend with a date, I'm like, let me sit with God, sit with myself. Let me read the books. And like thinking Napoleon Hill, I was on a walk the other night and I was just like, I was emotional, sad, right?
Yeah.
And the thought of Napoleon Hill came to my mind. It said, where like with every adversity comes an equal or greater opportunity. Nick, what's the opportunity in the shit you're in right now? And it's the fact that, hey, like if I had a partner in my life right now, I wouldn't be able to read these books where I need this knowledge and this growth right now.
Yeah.
I'm expediting growth, right? I wouldn't have this time to journal, to meditate, to pray, to self-develop, right? Like from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock every night, or from like, 5 a.m. till 10 a.m. Like it's a lot of time.
Yeah.
And I know that's excessive for most people, but in the season for me, I want massive growth. And so like, it's just shifted perspective. And then what helps me Gage is like fast forward. Like, I'm like, look at the last 6 months, how much growth I've had. Okay. I could like bitch and moan and say, oh, there's not the person in my life right now. Or I could say, look how much growth I've had. Well, if God is gracious enough where I go another 6 months, imagine the man I'll be then and imagine the woman I'll attract.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
No, dude, it's huge. I think so many young kids graduate high school or even go to college and they're so antsy to get married right away.
Yeah. Especially in this culture.
Especially in Utah. Yeah. And honestly, I get it, right?
Yeah.
Especially guys that come home from missions and all that stuff. But like if you just go hard on yourself for 4 or 5, 6 years, you go earn the money, you bust your butt, you become the type of person that a good girl would want to be with.
Disciplined, humble.
Yeah.
Like generous, hardworking.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like you can, like your pool of girls just becomes way bigger.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where so many guys like try to immediately get married where they haven't really done anything or become anybody worth,
Yeah.
And yeah, it's huge.
That is. I love that, dude.
And I think on your point too, like Ty Lopez, this video comes to mind. You guys have seen Here in My Garage, the famous YouTube video with he's like he traded the books for the Lamborghini in his garage, but he talked about something that has never left me. He says there's 4 pillars in the good life. There's health, wealth, love, and happiness. And I think there's more pillars than that, like spirituality and stuff like that. But to just go down to basic stuff, what he was saying is start your day with health. Like have a good morning routine, have good habits.
Tony says the same thing.
Yeah, work out. Like work out your mentally, go to the mental gym every day, which is books, podcasts, and then go to the physical gym.
Yes.
So start your day with health. That's key. Second, wealth. Most of your day is going to be on building wealth, either
Active.
Yeah, learning high income skills to go earn active income. And also that's one skill. And then learn how to use that money to make more money, which is investing, right? That's another skill that you need to learn. So that's the majority of your day. And then at the end of each day, love. You need to spend time with people you love, whether it's girlfriend, boyfriend, or family or friends, but you should never be alone at night.
Yeah, Marie, tell me that.
Dude, he said that. And I look back on my life at that time, and the loneliest, the most sad, the most depressing times. I wouldn't consider myself a sad or depressed guy, but like there were parts in junior high, high school, or like even after I graduated high school that were down. And it was because I wasn't doing anything with people at night. I was just in my room reading books or watching YouTube videos. And like, I think there's a time and a season for that.
Mm-hmm.
But ever since I tried to get all of my growth stuff done in the morning and during the day, and then spend time at night with people I love, I've been way happier.
Mm.
He's like, if you do those 3 things every day and end the day on love, you'll be happy. If you're focused on health, if you're focused on wealth and doing your job at the highest level and learning how to, invest your money into bigger and better things, and then you spend time every day in the evenings, specifically with people you love, there's no way you won't be happy. And dude, the last 6 years since I learned that, I'm never like, I don't get sad. Like I don't get in the dumps.
That's amazing. Yeah, there's something about the power connection. I love that.
Yeah.
But in evening specific, I love that, Gage. Love that.
Because it's dark outside, dude. You just get in your head, you know, at night. Like, I don't know what it is, but
yeah, so real, man. So real.
So
that's something I can improve myself. I love that. Dude, let's talk about, let's tie this in with, like, I've had people on Instagram ask me like, okay, this, your routine's cool, Nick, like self-development's cool. How does this actually make me money? Yeah. How does this help me get more sales? And I know a lot of people are like, well, it's obvious, bro. Like, but if you had to nail it down to like top things, like, okay, like let's hit it quick.
I got it. Listen to this. I love this quote. It says, fools laugh at people's mistakes. Smart people learn from their mistakes, but wise people learn from others' mistakes. The reason the morning routine is so important, and specifically like what I'm talking about, is mental. Go to the mental gym every day, read the books, the podcast, at least an hour, I'd say. That's like the key thing. The reason that's so important is because you're learning from other people's mistakes. You can go read a book from Brian Tracy that's 8 hours long. You could read it in a week or even 3 days if you really tried. And he's done sales at the highest level for 40 years.
Yeah.
And you can go learn what the best of the best stuff that he put his entire life into learning. And you can go read it in a week for $10.
It's crazy.
And you can go skip all of the stuff that he had to go figure out from learning from his own mistakes. And you can go learn from him after he's already gone through all the crap.
Yeah.
So, like, the thing is, Tony said something at Day with Destiny that really stuck to me. He's like, most people don't have 10 years of experience in anything. They have 1 year of experience doing it 10 times the same way. Because they don't change anything. They're not learning. Dude, in anything you're doing, go learn from the best of the best in that field, and your results will just go like this.
Yeah, it leapfrogs you ahead of everybody. Yeah, you and I are both obsessed on the power of proximity. That's the name of your podcast.
Yeah, proximity is power, baby.
It leapfrogs you ahead of everyone else. And I remember paying my mentor Chris, a lot of money to get proximity. And people are like, I've talked about this, where people like, hey, dude, can I just pick your brain? And the more success you have, like, it's like that is less and less of an attractive thing. I can only imagine people way, way, way ahead of us. I know we'll be there one day, but it's not even, that those people are rude by saying no, or like, I don't have time. It's like, there's a value equation to every person. And so I offered my mentor zero value.
Yeah.
Even though I thought I might be able to help him with his trainings or help train his salespeople or increase his sales. I humbled myself. I'm like, I'm going to give him capital. He needs
Yeah.
he doesn't need capital, and he took it, donated all to charity. But that is, you got to trade something, right? And either work for them or you give them money.
Yeah.
But get proximity to those people. And dude, like, think of it like, if that person doesn't have what you want, if they have part of what you want and you go to them because they're a good salesperson, but their other part of their life you don't respect, like from my own personal experience, having failed at this too, having been the guy that didn't have it all together, right? Like, watch who you choose.
Yeah.
Be cautious and make sure they have exactly what you want.
Dude, for sure. It's a huge point because like Tony Robbins said this at UPW, and if you guys haven't known by now, I'm Tony Robbins' biggest fan. So shout out,
little
Tony.
fanboy over here.
Literally, Mason's like, "Can you go 1 hour? 1 hour, not even a day, 1 hour without mentioning Tony Robbins?" And I'm like, that might be hard for me, but like he says something really cool. He said, "Love your family, like your friends, but choose your peer group."
Yes,
and it's so key. And the reason I love Tony Robbins so much, truly, is because he is doing it the best that I've seen in every area of life, period. Like his whole life mission is to go learn from the best of the best in every field of life, relationships, health, wellness, finances. And then he goes and learns from the best, copies it, and then teaches you what he learned.
Yeah.
And so like Tony is huge to me because he's a role model in every walk of life. Like Nick was saying, like you can have role models. Like Alex Hormozy is somebody that I look up to in business.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't look up to him. I don't think he's healthy. I think he's huge and jacked and he eats lots of protein, but his nutrition videos, I'm like, bro, that's so unhealthy.
Yeah.
Like anyway, so like I think you can learn stuff from everyone, but be careful with who you're learning from because like Nick said, like you don't want to model somebody in every area if they're only inspiring in one.
Correct. Yeah.
So like proximity, like is power, like it is. Like humans are chameleons, like they're clones of each other subconsciously, and every single interaction is either nudging you this way or this way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so subtle you might not even realize it, but literally every interaction with any human being on the planet, whether it's in person, whether it's a seminar, podcast, book, it is affecting you.
Yeah.
And so you need to be very careful with who you let in your proximity because it is either power or it's poison.
Yep.
And in 2024, we have the best opportunity in the world. Like we have YouTube University. You can get proximity with Elon Musk. You can get proximity with Tony Robbins for free.
Mm-hmm.
But things that are given to us for free, usually people don't value.
Appreciate. Yep.
And it's sad. But like, dude, I've watched hours, days, years worth of content on YouTube, thousands of podcasts. I read 700 books since high school.
Look at that.
Like, I'm just obsessed with it. Like I'm obsessed with learning from the best in every field of life so I can go not be a fool and laugh at people's mistakes or be smart and learn from my own mistakes, but really be wise and learn from other people's mistakes so I don't go make the same mistakes that dude, every problem that anyone's having on the planet right now, there's somebody else that has had the same problem that's figured it out and put in a book or a podcast or a YouTube video you could go watch for free.
Yeah.
So like, what are you doing?
So true. So applying self-development to summarize, like, okay, how does self-development make people more sales, more money?
Yeah, dude. I mean, I think like I was saying is like each conversation is nudging you one way or the other way. And like, if you can go learn from someone that's the best at sales, if you're in sales, if you just start applying the things they tell you, their morning routine, how they approach each day, how fast they get from appointment to appointment, all of that, you just start applying stuff, you'll watch your sales just go like crazy. Mm-hmm. But so many people, like Tony says, knowledge isn't power. Knowledge is potential power. Yeah. Applied knowledge is power. And so many people, I feel like, either don't spend any real time each day on personal development, or they just listen to it just for fun. And it's like mental masturbation. I hate that term, but somebody used it. But it's like they like what they're hearing, but they're not really making any new decisions from it.
Yeah.
So like I'd say, dude, I think anyone you have in your ear or anything you read is like, a book is so cool because you literally get in the mind of somebody that wrote the book. And if you start thinking like somebody, like proximity is power, because anyone you're around, you start to think like, act like, say what they say, read what they read, watch what they watch, listen to what they listen to. And if you start doing all those things just like someone else, you're going to get the same results if you apply it.
Correct. Absolutely.
So
Yeah. Why do you think people fail to like duplicate when they find a role model? Like some come in and like,
yeah,
I like this, they pick and choose. Oh, I'm down with the morning routine, but I don't like how hard you work there. You know,
yeah.
they pick and choose, or they change wording, or yeah,
Dude, I think I think everyone wants to be successful, but nobody wants to do what successful people do
yeah. And
daily.
they think that copying like 80% will do.
Yeah, no, like you gotta, no, you can't just pick and choose the thing that, is most comfortable for you. You have to do it all, you know? And honestly, like Tony talks about this all the time, is like the biggest determinant on how successful someone's going to be is their hunger level.
Yeah.
How hungry are you? And me and you have talked about this off camera, but like, I feel like everyone in life is on a hunger scale, like 0 being not motivated, not hungry at all. And then 100 being like, I want to run through this wall to get my goal. And everyone's got a hunger level. And honestly, like, I feel like you can raise your hunger level. Like, I feel like I'm at 100. I feel like you're at 100. I feel like there's a few people in our industry that are actually at 100 and operating that way. But dude, most people say they want a golden door or want to be the best in the industry or want to go lead a $5 million team.
Yeah. The goal is 100, but the hunger is like 15.
Yeah. Their goal is 100. Yeah. And their level is 15. Exactly. It's like, okay, well, if you really want this, you need to figure out exactly why. Like, what are the reasons you want this? And really get clear and build that hunger.
Because you're going to have to pay a price.
You're going to have to pay a price.
And you're going to fizzle out, burn out. Something's going to happen where you call it quitsies or give in.
Right. Like rent to success is do every day. Like, you got to show up day in, day out, day in, day out. Whether it's snowing, hailing, sunny, 115 degrees, like, it doesn't matter. You have to show up even though sometimes you won't feel like it. Like, you have to be okay with the monotony of the job and the monotony of the morning routine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here's what will happen though. Once you do raise your hunger level, and here's how I'd tell you to raise your hunger level.
Proximity. First of all, proximity
is power.
Number one. Is
if you go hang out with a bunch of hungry people,
they'll infect you.
They'll infect you.
Yeah.
Like, if they're all doing this, this, and this, and you're down here, you'll automatically be like, well, I need to raise my standards.
This is why guys like you and I pay tons of money.
Yeah.
And it's like, and we keep doing it is because we see the power of being infected.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah. It's like you literally get a dose of what these people are made of when you get in the rooms with them.
Dude, I went to lunch with my dad senior year of high school, and this moment changed my life forever. And this is what started my whole journey of proximity is power and personal development. He said, went to lunch with my dad. He's like, what are your plans after high school? I'm like, I don't know, be a business owner, make a lot of money. And I'm like, I don't really know. And he's like, well, Gage, all the success that I've ever had in my life has come down to 2 things. Number 1, the books that I've read. And number 2 are the people I've met. Like, you only change your life when you change the proximity in your life. And he's like, I'll tell you what, remember that stack of books I gave you last year for Christmas? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I'll pay you $10 per book you read from that list.
Nice.
And $10 wasn't a lot of money, but it was to me at the time. And I just started knocking these books out. And the more I read, the hungrier I got. And I also made it a goal to take 1 successful person to lunch per week back then. And this is like, fast forward 8 years. Those conversations and those books and the seminars have changed my life more than anything else. And the only reason I was able to make what I made this last year or help my guys make as much as they made was because of that principle.
I love that. Let's shift gears here, dude.
Yeah,
And
let's do it.
I want to talk about how you got time, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, 10 minutes.
Talk to me about your team building culture. You guys are doing really well. You're picking up.
Yeah.
What's working?
Dude, what's working is my psychology's changed.
There you go.
Dude,
The
like
leader.
literally, I think before Date with Destiny last year, I had led really good teams. Like in 2021, I led the number one. I mean, 2020, I led the number one team out of 105 teams active. We did 7,500 accounts,
Wow.
which was great. And then my guys all started leaving, and a lot of stuff happened with Aptive growing too big too fast, and you were part of that too. But dude, for some reason, like I couldn't influence people the way I wanted to, or how I had seen other leaders influence their people. Like Casey Baugh was someone that I really looked up to as a leader. Like if you talk to anyone that worked for Casey Baugh or Todd Peterson, they just tell you how much they've changed their life and how good of a person they are on and off the doors and in the office, outside of the office. And dude, I was proud of a few reps that I had led, but I felt like what changed was my two needs. Like before, my top two needs was significance, number one,
Yeah.
and myself. And I was so selfish. I didn't think I was. I was completely
Yeah.
blind to
I
it.
know the exact same thing here. Yep.
Yeah. Like I thought I wanted what was in best interest for my guys, but I really only if it benefited me. Like
Yeah.
it sucks to say that, and it sucks that's who I was, but it's true.
Yeah.
But significance was number one, and second was growth. So at least I had growth.
At least you had there. Yeah, you definitely did have that.
I did have growth. I've been obsessed since high school. But what's changed, dude, is I've eliminated significance from my top needs, and I've made it contribution and love and growth still. And it's made all the difference on how I show up.
Yeah. Your energy changes.
It changes.
Yeah, you become a magnet.
Dude, even from like a recruiting meeting, like before I just talk about myself. Hey, if you want to do what I've done, come here.
Yeah.
Where now it's like,
Them.
dude, what are your goals in life?
Yeah. Like you genuinely want to help them.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a good fit. I'd love to hear your goals and see if Mamba can be the vehicle that gets you from here to here.
Love it.
And if it can't, dude, maybe you should go over here.
Yeah, that's how I'm.
And dude, it's a different vibe. It's a different intent.
Yeah.
And people can feel it.
It's the same thing with selling, dude. It's the same. I mean, this is just high level persuasion.
Yeah.
I've realized this with empathy, with wanting, like I learned this on my mission, like how to really sell at a high level. And it was seeing people not as they are in their current situation, but as they could become through what I was teaching, right? Selling is the same thing. I got a product or service and I believe in it. I have the conviction on it. And like your ability to influence and persuade is largely correlated to your ability to empathize and see that person using that product or service and benefiting from it.
Yep.
And completely detaching from the outcome. And so, completely.
It's easier said than done.
It is.
And you couldn't just make a decision today, start doing that.
But
like you'd really have to work at it. Yeah.
Dude, I talk about this because it's like, you actually have to love people. Like there are some people I don't love. And, but I still like, you've got to focus on like wanting to help people. Unless you have that desire, it's an uphill battle, right? Like, but that's like the why. And if your why is big enough, it's the how comes with like sales training tactics. And if you genuinely want, like, and this is a form of contribution, right? This is like saying, hey, for salespeople going from selfish, want to make commission, want to make the deal, to selfless, you're going to close more deals because you're going to empathize. Your energy is different. You're going to win people over. You're detached. You're 10 times more confident. That's what salespeople just don't know. A lot of salespeople are like, they're not focused on that.
Yeah.
But, and this really does correlate, especially the bigger the ticket to sale, like with recruiting or with, solar or real estate, like a higher ticket cost, requires more connection and authenticity. And this is where a lot of people lack is they're trying to overcome objections. Sometimes I'm very okay being sold, right? Like this isn't going to fit and I'll walk away. And I choose to walk away. Right. So
dude, it's such a better feeling too. Like,
yeah,
I love my job way more than ever before. And it's because I'm really here for the reps and I'm here to help them the best I can and to love them the best I can, help them grow the best I can. And dude, the crazy thing is, I think as far as leadership, what's changed? I think there's two parts of leadership. I think there's holding people to any type of standard, and then the level of love or relationship, right? And I think before Date with Destiny, I held myself and everyone to freaking high standards, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But I didn't invest in time with them and didn't really show my caring or love for them. And so even though I held them the highest standards, they're like, F you.
Yeah.
Where now, dude, I really invest and I really love my guys, and I make sure I only work with people that I actually love and I want the best for. And now that the love's there and I can hold them to high standards, they'll respond with total respect and actually take in what I'm trying to like help them with.
I love that.
Where before, dude, it was just not. And there's other leaders in the industry have no standard and have no relationship, and they're just terrible. And then there's people that have high love for their guys, but they don't even hold themselves to any standard or their guys. And so they're like the buddy leader.
Right.
But the real mentor leader, which is what everyone should strive to be, is someone that loves their people at the highest level and holds themselves and their people to the highest level.
Yeah. Dude, I think a lot of that is emulated in the law of legacy, where you generally are trying to make your people level up and become better than you are. Right. I feel like if that is your true intent and you're trying to change their life and improve it, its success is imminent. Like where we've lost a few, like we've lost one key player, and there's a good chance he'd come back, but because of this focus, we're attracting at 10x the rate.
Wow.
We're replacing him. It was no problem.
So sick.
Yeah. And it's wild. Do I miss him? Yes, absolutely. Right. Do I value this person? Like a lot, but there's no desperation there. And that's the beauty of attracting when you do prioritize the self-development. Dude, I remember I wasn't smart enough to do this, Gage. I had God like literally turned my life upside down. And I was like,
that needs to happen.
Yeah, it does. And so take what he's saying serious. Learn from other people's success and failure, right? But I was forced to slow down. And like I told you that one time, like that was one of the big lessons of this year for me, was slowing down. And I've slowed down more, and my business is popping off faster than it ever has, because the slowdown has allowed me to do work here.
Go internal.
Yeah. I've faced the demons. I've faced the dark stuff. And that's what builds the confidence, the character. And that's there's massive attraction behind that. Like when you feel like you don't have to hide anything and you're authentic, and there you vibrate, there's different energy about that person. And so, and then, yes, and then there's the factor of like, when you're growing, there's different attraction to that person, just growing a little bit every day. That person has a different frequency of attraction. And then there's what we're talking about too, is the love and desire to bless and serve people and see them level up. Like that person that has all that, dude, you're hard to compete with, like you can't compete, like no amount of smarts, like you've got a package that is going to go get you places,
Dude, it's the best.
Yeah.
Like in all my years, bro, I never really had a rep that came up to me and was like, dude, you changed my life forever. Like in a good way.
Yeah.
Like I felt like I'd done that, but I'd never heard that from a rep. But dude, this last year, I've heard that more than once.
That's
and it's
amazing.
The best thing in the world.
That is the
it's
best.
Like, wow, it's working. Like it's working.
Yeah.
I'm changing and it's making a real difference.
And that's I think the greatest way to grow through multiplication, get other people to grow with the business, is through attraction, word of mouth.
Yeah.
Get people, our whole focus has been get people results,
Sure.
And so like, I think what's you and I correlate with is we're not just like sales trainers and sales leaders. It's, we're personal development brands within different spaces. Right.
Amen.
And our results, like we understand that results is the game, but it's not just sales and number results. It's like, let's get these guys results in their personal life. And that shit's going to follow as a byproduct. Right.
Amen.
And then not just follow, it's like, it's going to be much bigger, and they're going to feel a lot better about themselves. and then the contribution, what we feel, gets reinforced, and we become more attractive, and then more comes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just snowball. And yeah, so many people try to skip steps. Like they try to, make more money than their level of personal development. And it just doesn't work.
It doesn't.
Like your self-development always is equal to the amount of money you're
Correct.
making.
Yeah. And I've told you, bro, like your income is going to skyrocket because I see like your development, and I'm like, okay, it's going to catch up. Like,
oh yeah. That's the thing is we're on a rocket ship. Like,
yeah,
I really feel like the level that I'm at even right now, which is great, is not even close to where it's going to be 5 years from now.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
and same with you, dude. Like, you're a freaking stud.
Thanks, Gage.
Dude, like, that's why I vibed with you so much when I was at Aptiv. I'm like, finally, someone that's as obsessed with reading books and personal development as me. And dude, it's just so fun to watch you grow and come to these Tony Robbins events. Like,
Yeah.
dude, it's gonna be fun. And dude, you're showing up differently, and you're showing up differently for the people you work with. And it's just, dude, it's gonna be freaking fun to watch us both
I know.
the next couple of years.
I'm jacked about it, man. My thing is just reminding myself of like what we've been through, like, and staying humble and realize like where the true power comes from. It's not me.
Yeah.
And yeah. So,
dude, no, definitely so many great, like, I'm so grateful for all the mentors in my life. Like I've been so blessed to have the parents I've had, like the mentors at Aptiv, different places I've worked, friends. Like, I'm so lucky, and I just feel like so much responsibility to just go execute at the highest level for the people in my life, because I'm so blessed to be where I'm at right now,
I love that, Gage. That's powerful, dude.
Yeah, dude.
That's powerful.
We got to go make a dent in the world, bro.
We will.
We will.
I love it. One person at a time.
One at a time, baby.
It's ourself, and then it's one at a time after that.
One day at a time, one moment at a time.
Anything else you want to hit on?
Dude, no, this has been fun.
This is great.
Last thing I'll say is, like, dude, Nick, yeah, dude, I'm just freaking pumped for you. And I know you're doing great things. I've checked out a few of the Rainmaker podcasts. They're fire. Go watch the one with Jimmy. That was the one I will listen to it, I think, 3 times in a row.
He dropped some nuggets on there, huh?
Dude, it was good.
Yeah.
So, dude, fan of the show. Keep cranking. I'm rooting for you.
Thank you, Gage. Likewise, brother. Keep crushing with Mamba and everything you're doing, your podcast. We're going on this Wednesday. Yeah?
That's right. Yeah.
Let's go, dude. I'm excited.
Check it out. Proximity's Power with Nick.
Yes.
It's going to be fire.
Go. Love it. Thanks, Gage.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching, guys.